archery season's in full swing here in Ohio, and I've got something to show you. So my son Logan got this deer with his Bowtech bow, and not just a deer, but a massive deer. This was a really nice 12 point, quite possibly the biggest bodied deer that maybe I've ever butchered. So back a number of years ago, I got a buck during the rut and it weighed 195 pounds dressed just like you see this one. This one weighed 201 pounds. So I'm gonna show you something that we've never shown you on our YouTube channel. And this is something that I did off of my buck a number of years ago. And that was, we dry aged this deer for 11 days and we cut bone-in chops. They were Porterhouse style, and Scott can attest, they were amazing. It was like sitting at a fine steakhouse eating a beef ribeye, and you would have never guessed that it was a mature buck.
I think I got a picture on my phone. There they are.
There they are. Bone-in.
October 31, 2017. I was cooking those bone-in Porterhouse. I'll send this picture to you, Spencer. You can throw it up on the screen.
They were phenomenal. So bone-in deer chops is not something we do very often. So I'm going to cut the Porterhouse bone-in chops, and as a special bonus, we're going to do Tomahawk style. And we're going to compare bone-in and boneless. So one loin we're going to do bone-in, the other one we're going to do boneless. Something we've never done on our YouTube channel.
This is going to be a little bit of a wrestle. Are you sure you're good?
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to swing the front up onto the table. Ish.
You could probably just prop it up on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's still on the rail.
Ready? Yep. This thing is massive. Like I mentioned, one side we're going to do bone-in, the other side we're going to do boneless. So in order to achieve that, I'm going to pull the inner loin out of one side and leave it in the other. Okay, look at the kidney soot this thing had in it. He was eating good. Okay, so now that I have that inner loin loosened up, and I can tell this thing is tender. Let's get that. There we go, that helps. Thanks, Scott.
So you gonna make it, Doc?
There we go. So,
Now don't pull that second one.
I'm not going to. One inner loin
His
removed.
muscle memory will take over, and he'll be standing here.
This thing's like working on a
It's like an elk.
Angus beef. We're gonna start by taking these hind legs off. So let me, Spencer, if you come around here, you can see this is gonna be that loin, that backstrap. Look at the back fat on this thing. So you can see I removed that inner loin out of this side. So this would have been located right here. So I went ahead and removed that, leaving the one in this side. So this side is going to be boneless, this side is going to be bone-in. Let's just continue breaking this down.
I'll take care of the most important job.
Cutting the tail off. Over to the bandsaw we go. This deer had a 28-inch neck on it. So you could achieve this with a handsaw, but it would be a lot more difficult. So that's why we're going on the old butcher boy today. And I've learned with these big framed animals, you can't get them through the saw because they're so tall. So I'm gonna cut the top of this brisket portion here off first before I cut this saddle in half.
What were you saying, Scott?
I actually think this deer has a little bit of marbling. That's something I've never ever seen in a deer, is marbling, little intermuscular fat like that. We'll find out a little bit more when we actually get into the Porterhouse steaks, but never seen it.
All right, let's split this deer saddle in half. So this one I'm gonna make boneless. This one we're gonna stay bone in. So I'm just peeling this membrane out of the insides of these ribs. So that way I can see where the ribs are at and how many I wanna leave on the French rack. So what we're gonna do, this portion we're gonna make bone in Porterhouse style. This portion we're gonna make Tomahawk. Do a little bit of trimming on here. That spinal cord out of there. That portion we're going to do bone in. I want to prep this for Tomahawk. So this one, I'm going to take the ribs off of it since we're making it boneless. These guys are over here working on the boning table. I did bust up the rest of that deer, or most of it, and that'll all get made into some delicious brats and things like that. But so I've got the whole rack, long bone. Those will get made into tomahawks. And I have those bone-in chops. We're going to save those. We'll cut those Porterhouse style. This loin we'll get started on first. So if you remember right, that inner loin was located right here, which if you marry these two together, that's what we had right there. Pull that inner loin out. We're left with this whole backstrap. So we're just gonna get started removing the rib bones and the vertebrae bones off of this. Staying nice and tight to those bones. And this deer is tender. It is so tender. A little bit harder to work on because of the amount of back fat it has, but so once you get that loosened up like that, we're just gonna remove that whole piece. And then from here, we'll just start separating the loin out of this fat cap. Look at that.
I have something over here that I didn't know existed.
What's that? A bacon?
Look at that. Tell me that's not a slab of bacon. I just cut off of the buck's ribs. I'm half tempted to make some bacon out of this.
Make it.
We've been
Cure it.
talking about it.
Cure it and make it. Now we want to peel this silver skin off the back. Look at that marbling in there. Scott mentioned that marbling earlier, and there it is. So there you have a whole backstrap, and man, that is a dandy. You can probably catch Logan over here. He's the one who shot this buck. He's behind the other camera. Is your mouth watering, Logan?
Yeah.
There's the inner loin. So you have the backstrap in the inner loin, otherwise known as what we call the slang as the fish tender. So those two pieces. I'm gonna save that one for a second. Now let's cut some deer tomahawk chops. I want to start by removing these thin feather bones here. Once we get those removed, we're going to go right above that shoulder blade piece and all the way over just to the front of this loin here. Once we get that done, we're just going to go down along these bones and get that meat all peeled off those bones. We're gonna take this shoulder blade out. So on like a beef tomahawk, I typically take all this piece off, this fat, but I think on these I'm just going to leave some of it on there, and then we'll do a little bit of trimming maybe afterwards. But now what we want to do is we want to go down through each of these ribs, and we just want to clean the meat out from in between these ribs. And we'll do some more trimming on these ribs once we get these cut into actual chops. So just take your knife and go down in between each rib. There you have that whole French rack style deer rack for some chops. All right. Deer French rack for some tomahawk chops. We're just going to start by, so these are going to be the thickness. You can see there's meat here, and then the bone, of course. We're just going to go down in between each bone. So these are going to be the thickness that you get when you go down in between each bone. It's going to be about 1.25 inches, most likely. Yeah, look at those. Beautiful French deer chop.
Those have more fat on them than some beef that we cut.
Isn't that crazy? I am going to do just a little bit of trimming on those because I want to take a little bit of that fat off. I'm interested in knowing if the fat on this is going to, deer fat, typically you want to remove all of that deer fat out of the trim because it'll give it that gamey flavor. I'm interested in knowing what this fat will taste like. So once we get those cut, I'm just going to go down through. I think I am going to take just a little bit of that fat cover off, just so there's not quite so much on there. And then just do a little bit of trimming to these bones, clean them up just a little bit. Just finishing up this last chop. So there you have deer tomahawk chops, and those are, like I said, beauties. Can't wait to get those on the grill. Next up, that back strap. Just going to go down through, cut these about 1.25 inches. Once again, just so tender. Beautiful, beautiful deer backstrap chops. Look at those. So we'll get these laid out on the table. And of course, can't forget about that inner loin too. So there's your backstrap chops, that inner loin. Now it's time for some bone-in deer chops. I'm Seth with the Bearded Butchers.
And I'm Scott with the Bearded Butchers. And for nearly 3 decades, we've been in the commercial meat business. And for about 2 of those decades, we've been formulating clean label spices. This is something that you can use in your home butchering experience. We have DIY kits that have everything in the kit included to make snack sticks, bratwurst, summer sausage. We have the components broke out, whether it's the high temp cheeses, the casings, or the seasonings, or the cures. So you can get a natural, clean label product. That's something that we've spent decades formulating here at the Bearded Butchers.
Super easy to use kits, and you'll see right here on the back, we have all of the instructions, the nutritional facts. We even have a calculator that breaks these down into smaller portions. So we think these are amazing. You buy the kit, all you have to do is add the protein. You can go buy the piece off of our website and you can build your own. So check out beardedbutchers.com or go to the store locator and visit a retail partner or Amazon and get some.
There you have it. Clean label, no chemicals, easy to use. You can elevate your meat experience with the Bearded Butchers home processing products.
We guarantee that your friends and your family, they're gonna love these items. Bone-in deer chops, Porterhouse style. It's gonna have a little bit of the T-bone style on this end as that inner loin narrows down to this end. This isn't something we typically do on deer, as I mentioned, so check it out. Nice, thick, bone-in deer chop. Cut about 1.25 inches. Now that I have them cut, what I want to do is I want to go down through and I want to trim the fat on each one just so they're not quite as fat. Using that bandsaw to trim that fat. So as mentioned, something that you don't see very often, bone-in style deer chops. So I'm just using the bone scraper, getting these all cleaned up nice, the way they look nice and pretty. Just get them laid out here on our table. So there it is, bone-in versus boneless deer chops. We have those beautiful Tomahawk style chops. This is the bone-in version, Tomahawk style. And then we have the bone-in Porterhouse and a couple T-bones. The boneless version is those boneless backstraps, chops, and that inner loin. So if you look right here, and we take that backstrap, we put that backstrap on there, and then if we took this inner loin and we cut it, and that's where that was located right there. So if we just take these backstrap chops and stack them all the way up like this, that's how that loin would have laid out, with the back strap on one side and that loin on the other. So hopefully that shows you, clears it up a little bit, bone-in versus boneless on venison. The next step for us is we're gonna get the Breeo lit and we're gonna take some of these out, we're gonna cook them up, and we're gonna do a taste test.
Now hold on.
Hold on, he says.
Logan, this is your deer. Yep. What would be your choice?
Of seasoning?
No, of what
Oh.
we have here. What would be your?
Which steak would be your choice?
Probably the boneless chops, just so
These?
I don't have to.
These?
Just so I don't have to cut out the bone.
Now,
That's just.
I'll be interested to see, after we cook these, what you think of one of these.
Probably have better flavor.
Because when I did one a number of years ago off the buck that I got, I was absolutely blown away. So There's only one way to find out. Let's head to the grill. We made it out to the Breeo. You can see it's lit behind us. 2 Tomahawk, 2 Porterhouse style. Those are the bone-in. 2 backstrap chops, that inner loin. Gonna get these seasoned up with original blend. Scott's gonna do the honors. He's
Original
gonna do the
blend,
cooking.
just like that photo from back in 2017. Give these a nice little dusting. Get them evenly coated on all the sides. Let's just get them on and get started cooking. Pick up a little bit of that seasoning on there. Chops are in their mid 120s. They're coming off. How do we have these sitting?
These are up here, yeah.
Here?
Oh, side by side.
Here?
Yep. Well, they smell good. How are we looking?
These are coming off. These are
Yeah, these are.
right in their low 120s. Where do you want the tenderloin?
It's right up in here. Yep. Perfect. Just put them right here.
Which way?
Doesn't really matter.
The other way.
Maybe the other way. Yeah.
Yep.
Or that.
I really like the side. That side.
Beautiful. All right, Scott. What do you want to start with? The boneless version?
Those came off last, so let's start with what came off. I don't know. It's up to you.
Let's just pull tenderloin out of this side and then cut this.
I can't wait.
Okay? Let's just do that. So we're gonna pull.
I mean, in theory, that's the exact same thing. So, in theory, I bet you that cuts like butter, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah, so soft.
I'm really curious to see what the fat. Not a lot of fat on this chunk, but what the fat renders down and acts like,
Nice
tastes
cook
like.
job.
Thanks.
Just like I remember it off the deer I shot.
That steak, zero gaminess.
He nailed that cook. So tenderloin portion out of that one. Tenderloin portion, just standalone, boneless.
Just look at the tender.
So
the
juicy.
tenderness of that.
Don't even need to use a knife.
Bite through. Oh. Look at the juice on the fingers.
So good. Not gonna tell a big difference in flavor between those two. Because of that bone, I don't think. They're just both very, very good. Now to go in for that backstrap side.
Cut it like that.
You wanna
leave
try some
leave
fat?
the fat on a little bit of it because I want to try that. See that? Like that almost looks like a beef strip steak. I'm just gonna
Now-
eat that right with the fat on it.
Deer fat
It's
normally
not supposed to be good.
is not
It's
supposed
usually
to be
waxy.
It's not supposed to be
coats,
good.
coats the top of your mouth.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's like lamb.
Yeah.
What comes into my head.
I'm not
It's got a
picking
little
up,
bit of that lamb flavor.
but not super gamey
Not
like I was
off-putting.
expecting. I was
No.
expecting like rancid, off-putting. It wasn't like that at all.
And with it completely trimmed off of these, you won't.
Man, you absolutely nailed that cook.
Thank you. Backstrap. Can't beat it.
Nope.
You can grind it.
You can grind it into brats. Now, I think there's only one thing left to do here.
Do I get to take a bite of this one? Do we have to
We're gonna
share
take a
back
bite.
and forth?
Cheers.
Oh, look at it. That's stupid.
Wow.
Can I get a view of that?
Now, that would be the ribeye,
That
equivalent to a ribeye on a beef. And that had some fat. Man, that went down smooth.
that piece might have had the most flavor.
Yeah.
Not the most tender, but the most flavor. Comparable to like a beef ribeye would.
Wow.
Right through tender. Logan shot this deer.
Here go, Logan. Right there.
There.
Dad,
He's got to get a bite. Come on. Get yourself a bite.
He's got to get a bite.
There
He's
you
got to get
go.
a bite.
There you go. Man.
The bones, I mean, so aesthetically, they look cool. I mean, obviously, that's a great shot. They give you handles. They hold the meat up on the grill. There's an argument for that when you put the meat on the grill. I don't think it impacts flavor a ton. I think it's kind of personal preference, whatever your tools are that you have. Obviously, a bandsaw had a big part to do with this. So I'm kind of impartial, whichever you want to choose, not to be a fence sitter about it, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to wind up cutting boneless versions of this, which is fantastic. But the bone-in version is cool if you have a deer this size. And, I mean, you serve somebody a venison porterhouse, you're going to knock their socks off.
And I think the cool thing about this is that we probably guessed this deer was probably, 4.5-year-old deer. Definitely a mature buck. 28-inch neck, 201 pounds dressed, big mature deer. Dry aged this for 11 days in our cooler, and the steaks on it are phenomenal. So the quality of a steakhouse, they're amazing.
It's not to be
So-
overlooked that we're eating a mature whitetail buck,
Yeah,
and
this-
it's eating like steakhouse quality steaks.
Come on in here, guys. Josh, get over here. Landon, Ben, Boston, girls. I didn't mean to sound so aggressive, but you're welcome to come over.
Get in here.
You get over here.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. Isn't that good?
It's very good.
You want some steak, honey?
Get in here, girls. What do you guys think?
Did you get a piece of fat, honey?
Lace, you want to try it?
Is it all fat?
Here.
Are you okay?
Cut just a little piece
It's
of this
okay.
off, would you?
One complaint I have, Seth, is you cut your portion sizes way too small.
Do I?
I'm being sarcastic. He'll be like, "There you go," and you're not even done chewing that bite. That's good, though. Make a puppy pull a freight train, as they say.
Not good.
I don't mind the fat.
Especially for how big that deer was.
I don't know. There you have it. Something we've never done on our YouTube channel. Bone-in versus boneless. If you have a bandsaw, cut those porterhouse style chops. Cut those tomahawk style.
One last thing about having bones on your steaks, too, is then you can do that.
Yeah. Or if,
Sure, sure.
if Charlie's around
Pick
here somewhere.
the bone clean.
Fantastic. Good luck this archery season. We've had some great luck here in Ohio, and the season has just begun. So congrats again to Logan for the beautiful deer. And until next time, see ya.